fucked. Can't get my DVD player to shut off, man.
Oh,
the power button. Hold on.
Is it in the scene where they're doing all sorts of weird nuances?
No, dude, I'm watching Napoleon Dynamite. DVD player, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I don't know what you were talking about.
Oh, dude, you gotta fucking let me know when you're pressing the button, dude. This is just getting old at this point.
I forgot that I had pressed the record button too. Whoops.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suplex Biddies, episode 49, brought to you by your good old friend, DVD player. Make sure you go get the DVD player, Couch Guys. I'm just kidding.
That thing is turning yellow. It was gray.
Suplex Biddies. It's old, dude. What do you expect? Suplex Biddies is brought to you.
How many times is that thing on your hands throughout the day? Oh, sorry. You were introducing the podcast. Whoops.
Suplex Biddies, episode 49, brought to you by Couch Guy Sports. Make sure you use the internet one time. That's for how many times? One. 2? No. 3?
Oh, you said one. You said 1 and 1. So that's 2. And then 1. That's 3. And then 1. 4. So you said 4 times.
1 time. 5.
4 different tabs with CouchGuySports.com on it. Oh
my God. Use the internet 1 time. This is the 7th time I've said it. So keep using the internet. Go on CouchGuySports.com. Go check out all the fun things we have. We're sponsored also by our good friends over at Exogun, Shocked Energy, and don't forget, I'm going to pull this up real quick. Hold on. Give me a second. They're going to love this. Our good old friends at Rave On Sports. Right now, Rave On Sports, you know what they do? They give you certain games. So basically, let's go like this. There's games on right now. You can jump in the live chat with 2 hosts, 1 for each side, and you can talk about the game. Don't you love to talk about the game while the game's going on your phone? Rave On Sports is the perfect way to do it. Go to the Apple Store, Android Store, whatever kind of phone you have, even the flip phone you can get it on, I'm pretty sure. Go to Rave On Sports. Trust me, they're game changers. So far, you've heard 2 voices tonight. You've heard myself, Chris Jones, and you've heard Diego Galvez. Where is Andrew Hunneman, you've asked? Well, last night, we were watching the pay-per-view together, and Hunneman was very upset at the fact that there were 0 title changes last night. There were no title changes last night. Hunneman was so upset with the fact that he smashed his computer into pieces, currently at Best Buy talking to Geek Squad, whether or not he can get a new one. So we wish him the best. Potentially rest in paradise to his computer. So with that being said, a moment of silence for Hunneman's computer, please. Thank you.
Wait. But the story that I'm getting from one of the reporters at TMZ, Mr. Pisano, is that he farted on his computer. And there was a cloud of smoke that came out of it. And that's why he's getting the death scream because, that computer went real quick.
No, see, this is where you're mistaken because I was there and I witnessed the whole incident. The dude had a fart. So he farted on the other kid who we won't name. The poor kid literally fell over through the table and Hunneman got so angry that he smashed his computer on him.
Ah, okay. So he went all Batman, the Batman movie on him. Okay, got it. Which, by the way,
I haven't seen it. Spoilers.
Oh my God, you need to. Honestly, I'm a huge Batman fan. I've always been it. I actually think Robert Pattinson did a really great job acting as a Batman. Really great job. Better than nursing home edition of Ben Affleck.
All right.
You could see that punch coming from
we're gonna move on here. Away. Stick to wrestling.
Well, they do a lot of wrestling. That's
Hunneman. I want to make sure that you know that we're thinking about you right now in your troubles.
I'm thinking about your computer. That's all.
Wish you were here, buddy. But like we said, let's get into AEW Revolution. 0 title changes. Hunneman was very upset with that. Some of the takes that Hunneman was telling me last night, agreed with a little bit, but for the most part, not so much. So let's start off the buy-in. Layla Hirsch beat Chris Statlander. Hook defeated QT Marshall. Mm-hmm. House of Black defeated Death Triangle and Eric Redbeard, a.k.a. Eric Rowan. Main card, Eddie Kingston defeated Chris Jericho. Jurassic Express retained the AEW World Tag Team Champions, beating Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. They pinned the Bucks, by the way, which is huge.
Yeah.
It was a huge, huge win for them. Wardlow won the face of the Revolution. So now he has a future AEW TNT title match. Then after that, we got the debut of Shane Swerve Strickland, whose house, Swerve's house. He is now with AEW as well. Jade Cargill beat Ty Conti to retain the AEW TBS Championship. CM Punk defeated MJF. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeated Thunder Rosa to retain the AEW Women's Championship. Moxley defeated Bryan Danielson. At the end of that, we had them. It was a funky finish. We had William Regal come out at the end to basically, it looks like, be the mouthpiece of the Moxley and Danielson tag team, which I think whatever it's going to be fantastic. And if he's not the mouthpiece, I hope he is the one that is the general manager of AEW moving forward.
Oh, there you go.
Then we had Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting defeat the Andrade Hardy family office. We saw Sting go through 4 tables. We saw Sammy Guevara with an intense Spanish fly off the top into 2 tables, where she almost missed. Darby Allin getting the pin over Matt Hardy. And in the main event, Adam beat Adam as Hangman Adam Page defeated Adam Cole. So let's go over high points. What was your high point from last night?
Well, real quick, before we get into that, I know we did some predictions on last episode. How did the boys go about predictions? What did our record look like?
It's a good question.
Do we remember?
No.
Okay, perfectly fine. I think my high point, honestly, I actually really liked the Moxley versus Danielson match. I think, to me, that was the best match of the whole entire card. I liked the ending. I liked seeing William Regal come out and make his debut and all that stuff. I agree with you. I think he should be the next manager of AEW. I think he would be phenomenal doing that. I like the funkiness of the match. I like that the two of them got real physical and pulled out a bunch of different stunts and all that stuff. Moxley, with his clotheslines that just hit out of nowhere every single time. Just every single time. He never misses. And honestly, Danielson in very good shape. He was able to practically bounce back every single counter attack that Moxley was throwing his way. Just Moxley, like I said, just managed to find a way to get Danielson pinned and taken care of and being this winning this match. I think that the only other match that I could think of that was a great one as well was CM Punk and MJF. I think that match was phenomenal. MJF grabbing the mic, demanding Punk to tell the crowd that he wanted to quit and all that stuff. It matched. I thought that was phenomenal. Punk all bloodied up and all that stuff. Right as soon as Punk is ready to hit the GTS, MJF finds a way to counter it and go into a salt of the earth armbar, which just beautiful as well. I think those 2 matches were really just the best part of this whole entire thing.
Well, I think the big part of the night to be so for me, Wardlow winning the Face of the Revolution ladder match was good for 2 reasons. One, he's now getting a future title shot, which is going to happen at their St. Patrick's show. He'll get the winner of Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky, which will take place this upcoming week.
Mm-hmm.
But 2, if you remember, he only had a contract in AEW because he was working for MJF. Mm-hmm. Now with this TNT title match, technically he has a contract with AEW. So this was the thing that was swirling. Was this going to be the Wardlow face turn that we were going to see tonight? And that's exactly what happened in the end of that CM Punk MJF battle. MJF was calling for Wardlow. Wardlow walking down the ring. Couldn't find the ring. CM Punk hits MJF with a move. Punk sitting there. Wardlow goes, "Oh, I know where it is. It's in my right pocket." Puts it down. CM Punk hits him with the ring. Knocks him out. Wardlow face turn in progress. Wardlow, MJF. What's next for MJF? Some of us were talking blood and guts might be a good way to end the CM Punk MJF rivalry. Having MJF in the Pinnacle go up against Punk, Darby, Sting, and then potentially Wardlow
Ooh, I like that
would be
idea,
a nice
actually.
little thing. So that could be upcoming soon at a big event for AEW. So stay tuned for that potentially. Who knows what the direction goes in, but Wardlow's going to get pushed to the moon. He's going to be your next AEW TNT champion.
Yeah, that's no question.
As of the St. Patrick's episode. So I thought that was good because we got the face turn of Wardlow, and I think that was desperately needed. The main event, I'm a loss for words for it, and it's not because I don't think it was a good match. I thought it was a fantastic match, and what they did was fantastic. But I don't know if they were kind of signaling an Adam Page heel turn.
Yeah, I don't think they saw that coming either. I really don't think so either.
Which kind of makes I'm kind of curious on what he did after, because the last thing we saw was he went to shake Adam Cole's hand as he was down, but it looked like he put something in Adam Cole's hand, which is a little bit curious to me, I will say. So I'm curious to see what direction that goes in moving forward. But what's next for Hangman Page? What's his contenders situation looking like? You know, like we have to really dive in and look at what's next for the AEW World Champion. But while I do that, why don't we go over your low point of the night?
Sure. I think my low point of the night was definitely the Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa match. Personally, if I was grading it from A to F, I give this a D plus kind of match. I think we were all expecting that this would be the turning point for finally Thunder Rosa to get her, throne going. Didn't turn out to be that way as Britt Baker continues her championship, affair and all that stuff. But honestly, just the match itself just wasn't all that great. Honestly, it was physical to a certain extent, but it wasn't all that great. It didn't offer a lot. Rosa leaving the ring to take a Rebel and Hater, only to be hit obviously by a stomp that she slid back into the ring, and then scoring the pinfall for Britt Baker. That was just stupid ending altogether. It just, I don't know. For me, it never really hit a stride. It never hit like when you have these high end matches like this one should have been, you tend to have a low point, a really good peak, and a very good ending. This was just low point, no peak, and an ending that was just like, could have seen that one coming. Frankly, I think it just disappointed altogether. I think that's definitely my lowest point of the card.
Yeah, no, I agree with you in that aspect because of the fact of what happened, and people are starting to get sick of Britt Baker because it's starting to look like she is slowly becoming Charlotte Flair in the aspect of WWE, where AEW seems to be just prolonging this title reign further and further, where they had a good spot here in Thunder Rosa. Now, realistically, I don't know who beat Britt Baker for the title. I really don't know, because what's happening is there's a number one contenders match on Dynamite this week coming up, and it is Thunder Rosa's in it again. So, which makes me believe that she's going to win and then face her again. But are you gonna have her lose again? Are you gonna have her win on like the St. Patrick's Day show rather than winning at Revolution? Like, I'm very curious to see what direction they go with that.
No, exactly. It's just, frankly, at this point, it's just like you said it. I think fans are extremely tired of Baker at this point, becoming much like Charlotte Flair. There's really no room for opportunity. Like, okay, once Britt Baker loses her championship title, what's next for her? What's the next storyline? It just doesn't seem like they have anything prepared in terms of creativity or storylines created here. And it's just a waste of time, because now you're wasting talent in somebody like Thunder Rosa that you could have had a new line going on and could have given the fans something new to watch.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think if I had to think here, I think if we're looking at this card as a whole, I thought this card was pretty good for the most part here. I thought this was a great card. Surprise of the night, I think, has to be the fact that there were no titles. No titles changed. I expected at least 2 with the tag titles going on Red Dragon, and then Thunder Rosa winning the AEW Women's Championship with the potential of Cole stealing the show. But I don't know, man. It's just looking at this and what's next for AEW and Double or Nothing in a couple months. They have a real shot at putting out one of the best cards that they could ever put out. So, for me personally, think of it like this. Right now I did everything over the math and everything like that. And Hangman Page, you know who he should face at Double or Nothing for the AEW title?
Who are you thinking?
CM Punk.
I wouldn't hate that.
So you do Hangman and Punk. You'll have 2 months to build up Bryan, Danielson, and Moxley. And you have them face Jurassic Express for the tag titles. Then you conclude MJF Wardlow. You start MJF Wardlow. Like, you could potentially do the Blood and Guts and then have it carry over where MJF is jealous of Wardlow and then they fight for the TNT title. Then you have, other than that, I think you have those, and then whenever Kenny Omega comes back, that's going to set up the Elite versus Red Dragon and Adam Cole, also known as the Undisputed Originals. So they have so many different avenues that they can go right now. And I want Omega back because I would love it. I would love it for 2 reasons. One, because I think they would start an AEW Trios tournament to declare the first ever AEW Trios Championship. They'll get that settled, and the final would be the Elite versus the Undisputed Originals, and that would just be fantastic. And you write that, then you have them go up against guys like House of Black. You have plenty of people that you could put into this Trios division. I think the Trios division is going to be fantastic once they finally do it as well. So there's so many different avenues that you can go there. But I think realistically, if we're thinking forward, I would say Hangman and Punk just makes too much sense. The Wardlow MJF stuff, and then Danielson and Moxley versus Jurassic Express for the tag titles.
So I have an underdog kind of storyline that if this was to be developed, I think fans would be so into it. And people haven't thought of it just yet, but when you hear it, it's going to start to rattle with your brain a little bit because you kind of want to see it because both of these wrestlers are so entertaining, so physical, and could really give you a very good storyline. What if instead of waiting until Kenny Omega comes back and you see the Elite and all that stuff happening, as you normally see in AEW, what if you have a new storyline where Sammy Guevara gets a major push from AEW and you see Sammy Guevara take on Adam Cole?
Just because, or you think him taking?
Just because.
With no title on the line, you just that's the match.
That's the storyline.
That's not a bad one. I don't hate that. I just think AEW has so many different directions that they can go, and I think they're set with stuff because they're gonna get Jeff Hardy. The Hardys are gonna be a thing. We're gonna get the Hardys in Private Party at one point. That's going to happen. Yeah. And then all the dream matches that they're going to make because of that, the Hardys versus the Bucks, the Hardys versus Red Dragon, the Hardys versus FTR, all those tag team matches we're gonna get are gonna be unreal to think about. I'm just curious how they build towards it. Because don't forget also with Tony Khan, there's another thing that we haven't talked about because we haven't recorded. Tony Khan is officially the owner of Ring of Honor as well.
Yep. So that was the breaking news.
Ring of Honor is back live on pay-per-view in April. That's a big thing to watch out for because there are rumors rumbling around the interwebs that the Cody Rhodes WWE talks were fake because they wanted it to be a swerve with Cody Rhodes leading the Ring of Honor invasion.
That would be phenomenal. That would be a phenomenal plot twist, but we all know how Vince McMahon is. And it could very well be that Vince McMahon will become this overpowering piece of crap that he tends to be and want to sign Cody Rhodes onto WWE.
Agreed. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, because I think that Ring of Honor invasion angle, it's going to be a better version of what WWE did when WCW, DCW invaded.
I'd agree. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
But let's get off AEW. It's going to WWE. Let's talk live event, Madison Square Garden. It was kind of hush-hush about what the main event was going to be, but it was Austin Theory versus Brock Lesnar in a 2-minute absolute dominating performance by Lesnar, only to get demolished by Roman Reigns after. And Roman Reigns took care of business and was standing over him with a shirt that I think might be one of his best shirts ever.
I was gonna say that. And honestly, I didn't see that beatdown coming out at all. I don't think anybody saw that coming. But that shirt, it's probably gonna be the hottest selling piece of merchandise coming to WWE all the way through WrestleMania, I would say.
Listen, the fact that someone doesn't consider Roman Reigns a needle, like he doesn't move the needle, I think just chef's kiss to whoever created that shirt, because that was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to set up Brock's going to dominate Roman for the next month or so, and Roman's just going to be both the unified champ, whatever the title looks like after, whatever Raw brings for a title the following night. I'm very curious by it. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. As much as I hate the fact that they're combining the titles, it's better for me to know that it's not going to be Roman Reigns versus the world. They're still going to have a Raw champion. And I don't know. I'm just curious to see what they go with, because the Universal title was kind of a miss, in my opinion. And I hope they kind of change it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But speaking of changing it up a little bit, did you have a point that I cut you off on?
No, go ahead. I don't think I have much to add on for you anyway. So
speaking of the change it up that we have, 2 new mid-card champions. Finn Balor wins the U.S. title. We got a Damian Priest heel turn.
Yeah.
So potentially that could be your thing, unless there's other things that you can think of. And then Ricochet beat Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title this past week on SmackDown. So we have 2 new mid-card champions. What do we think WrestleMania-wise? Start off with the U.S. title. Do you think it's Damian Priest is the lock, or do you think there's other potentials that could come into play?
Damian Priest is the lock for sure. It's the only one that makes the most sense, to be quite frankly honest with you. I don't see anybody else in that locker room making sense for the U.S. title championship. So I'm definitely going with Damian Priest as well.
I mean, if the heel turn kind of makes me believe that it's very much set in stone, you know? So I think that being said, that adds a little bit of flair. I think that's going to be on night number 2, because right now on night number 2, it's kind of lackluster. Besides the winner takes all match, you now have Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. You have Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And you have the women's tag team titles of Banks and Naomi Challenger, Zelina and Carmella, with Edge and AJ Styles still waiting on clarification on what night they'll play in. But for Balor to face anybody else, it wouldn't make much sense to just kind of throw it on the card. All right, let's move over to the Intercontinental title. What are we thinking?
Now, this one is where I think things get very interesting, because it's Ricochet. For me personally, I don't believe that we see a rematch with Sami Zayn. I think that storyline is a little bit exhausted at this point.
It can't be, because Sami Zayn's already tied up with Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I do think it comes down between 2 people. I think it could be Pete Dunne, debuting from NXT, or I think it happens to be Sheamus. I would love to see it be Ridge Holland, but I don't think Ridge Holland is ready just yet. I think we definitely see Sheamus.
Yep, that was my pick. I was gonna tell you. I think it's gonna be Sheamus. And here's why. If you look at Sheamus's track record, right?
Yeah.
The only title I believe he hasn't won is the Intercontinental Championship.
Exactly.
I believe he is. Yep, he is a 3-time WWE champ, 1-time World Heavyweight champ, 3-time U.S. champion, 1-time SmackDown Tag Team Championship, 4-time Raw Tag Team Champion.
Yeah.
He's won the Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring. He's never won the Intercontinental title, which it stinks because I feel like if they do that, it's going to be Sheamus winning the title, which stinks because I think Ricochet deserves this little bit of a push that he's getting currently. I think this is long overdue. And the fact that Ricochet is the quote unquote second baby face in WWE right now on SmackDown, like you got to give him a push. Yeah,
exactly. That's basically why I picked Sheamus, but I also wouldn't be against Pete Dunne though. That's an underdog there.
That's a different one for sure. I'm curious to see what the rest of the Mania card looks like, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm interested to see what the card of Mania actually looks like. Reason being is because there's so many storylines as well to be followed. Obviously, you're gonna see Roman, Brock, Lashley, and all these other people and whatnot. But some of these titles that used to not matter as much, like the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, because those were just kind of, point B of the event. At this point, they're becoming more of like point A- of the event, and they kind of glue you in because you want to see the storylines also further develop. So, I think WrestleMania this year could be actually very, very interesting. I think the only factor here that matters the most is how they manage to deliver the content.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, the 2-9 thing is cool. I just think they're kind of feeling the pressure a little bit on having the dual nights because they're now relying on the first night looks like it's going to be all wrestling. And the second night, they're kind of hoping that someone will kind of help them out with McAfee potentially putting asses in seats. People going, oh, Johnny Knoxville. I would love to see him just do something stupid. Or along the lines of if you think of the potential Stone Cold Kevin Owens thing that could potentially happen as well.
Which could potentially happen, yeah. And I think at this point right now, they're kind of letting some of the younger guys also participate in adding some of that content that we're talking about, seeing Johnny Knoxville and all these people, because they've realized that they've run out of ideas. The content's just not there.
I also think they have a bunch of guys that are hurt, like McIntyre. The thinking about it back, having McIntyre on the card is more important. Than who he's facing, because if you're supposed to be a big name, like said, you're on the card even if you're not really 100%, no matter what. And I think that's where they're at right now. So
I think you're right.
We'll wait and see what the rest of the card looks like, how it plays out. But WrestleMania is right around the corner, less than a month away.
Yeah. Funny how time flies by, man, when you're having fun.
Seriously. But you got any conclusion before any final thoughts before concluding episode 49 of Suplex Biddies?
Nothing. I'm just curious and would love to see what's next for Thunder Rosa, because the storyline just absolutely broke any sort of traction that she had going on.
Well, don't worry, because she's going to get her rematch at the St. Patrick's Day show. But from Diego, I'm Chris Jones, signing off episode 49, Suplex Biddies. Shout out again to Couch Guy Sports Internet one time. And hopefully Hunneman is back with some sort of device that he can partake on episode 50. It's a big episode.
It's a big episode. Yes, sir. That's right.
With that being said, signing off. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.